been quiet for a minute, I've been grinding, still in it, I've been counting these digits. Excuse me, I know I've been quiet for a minute, but I'm back on my business. If you see me, don't trip, just excuse me. Wrong if I do, wrong if I don't. That's why I do me no matter what, so excuse me. Lie if I do, lie if I don't. The proof is in the story, take a seat and excuse me. The crash came when the cash came. Spend it before you get it, like those rookies all on draft day. For the love like it's match game. Hit the ground running, really do it for my last name. They act different when the facts change. I'm not with the tip attack games. In my own league, I don't chase game. In my own league, I don't hang with lanes. I know I've been quiet for a minute, I've been grinding, still in it, I've been counting these digits. Excuse me, I know I've been quiet for a minute, but I'm back on my business. If you see me, don't trip, just excuse me. Wrong if I do, wrong if I don't. That's why I do me no matter what, so excuse me. Lie if I do, lie if I don't. The proof is in the story, take a seat and excuse me. Now how could that be? Talking about who can be talking about me? Feeling like stress.
Hey Warriors, welcome back to my channel. Gung Ho Guns here, and today I'm thrilled to roll out my ultimate guide for the Wrathful Warrior in Tarisland. Now I've been holding this to myself a little bit, playing with it, tinkering with it, tampering with this beast of a build for a little bit now, making sure that it was the best before I would set it forward. And guess what? I've cooked up not one, but two for you. I have a sustained damage and a burst damage that I use in PvP as well, and let me tell you, it is nasty. It really slaps. So we'll take a look at the first one, the sustained damage. I use this in PvP sometimes as well, but again in PvE it is sustained crazy and better than most. So let's kind of go over quickly just the talents so you understand which ones or why we're doing what we're doing. Really quick, your cross slash is your basic attack. It just gives you a little damage. It gets you 1 wrath. Keep that in mind. 1 wrath. That's what you need to understand from this one. Final strike gives you 2 wraths, and it's kind of like a finisher. When they're below 25% health, it's kind of like an execute. It does just a little bit more damage to them. The next one is Armor Pen. There's some tricks with this I'm going to show you. This is really good. You dive in, you armor break them, and you just unleash holy hell on them. Your Fury Blade. This is again our entire build. The last 2 builds that I'm going to show you today are based around Fury Blades. It is tons of damage, and guess what? More damage. More. Infinite Rage, same thing. It just gives you a little boost to damage when it's on, and we're going to show you how to do that as well. Then you have your basic AoE here. To be honest, out of all the classes, and I've played most of them, Blade Cyclone from the Warrior is probably the strongest AoE by far. So FYI, don't be afraid to use this as well. So let's go over to talent. Again, this is my sustained one. I normally use this in raids. You can use it in PvP as well. Again, I'm not going to go over everything, just kind of going over it. The reason why I put 1 point here in number 12 in Wrathful and not over here in the other one is because I needed the 2nd point to get my 34% combo percentage. That was the only reason. Otherwise, I would have it right here in 3 out of 3 rage. If you kind of go over all these as you're doing them, you're going to see that we're buffing base damage, we're buffing your execute, and it's all about that. I see a lot of people take this right here for some reason, the Wrath Spread, and it just kind of helps your entire team. That's okay, man, but I think, as DPS, especially in PvP, it's more beneficial for you to do more damage because, it's I get it, helping your team is cool, but we're selfish here, man. We're PvPers here. So let's kind of get into this one. And before that, really quick, let me show you the PvP burst one as well. And this is me. This is the one that's just a little bit burst, but sustained is a little bit lower. You kind of take a look at that as well. Both are very, very good. But again, I do think the first one, the one we use for raids, the sustain one, it's pretty decent. Now, when I'm talking about sustain damage and burst damage, I tested this in raids and PvP, like I said, but I also hit the dummy for about a minute, 2 minutes per dummy, about 10 times each build, and just got some average numbers to kind of see what was actually going on. The sustained damage, I am getting around 4,500 to about 4,000 to 4,500 burst damage, and a sustained of 2050 to 2,100 with my current gear. With the burst one, I'm getting north of 5,000 plus burst damage. I mean, it is nasty. However, the sustained, it gets a little lower. Out of those 10 times that I hit the dummy, and again, it's a stationary dummy. It's not moving. Most of the bosses that you're gonna fight or whatever, they're not gonna just stand for you. But with that, with the burst one, I was able to get around 17, 1800, and there was a few times that I broke 1900. So sustain is about a couple hundred points less, but the burst is just wow. So that's why I prefer it in PvP, just because in PvP you go in there, you slap, 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 and the guy's done. So anyway, also really quick, I'm just gonna give you my inscribed stones. I did a similar thing in most of my builds. As you kind of see, I first went all the way up to get the first two emblems, and then I took it up to get the third emblem, and then the fourth and the fifth emblem. What I did was, and again, these are and I'll go a little bit slower so you guys can copy it, and feel free to or adjust it. But I'll show you why I do what I do here. I think these are the best emblems for you for a DPS Wrathful Warrior. Strive is amazing, Out of Control, Burst, Sprawl, and Intertwined Fates. I think these are by far the best. Now, what I actually did here was, if you look at right here at the Strive one, if you read the additional effects, it says the upper right node attribute plus 50. So that's why I actually put it right there, just to get the extras, plus 26 or plus 40 combo that you get from it. So don't just put these in there, read what it actually does. So like, for example, this one, I didn't have one going left, or I would have put it right there. None of the ones that I had gave a bonus to it, but this one did right here give a bonus to strength. So the next point that I get, I will put it right here for it. Same thing up here, as you kind of see. This one, I went with a strength. Now, what I did here was, again, first goal was to unlock these two, so I went to the sides to unlock it. Once I unlocked these two, I went up, and again, I kind of went around, and these are the same, I went that way instead of this way. Again, it doesn't really matter. Just to unlock this one. And then from there, I went to the sides to unlock these. After that was done, I went back down, and I wanted to unlock the core, and then same thing with this one, core. I did not take this right here. I went around it to get the core, and then I went back and got it after I was done. My next goal, as I'm getting these, is to get these two up top here as well. So this is how I do my stones. You're welcome to copy it. I do think this is the best way to do it. I've done a lot of research as well on these, and this is what majority of the top players, damage-wise, for Wrathful Warrior, this is how they do it as well. So, all right, let's get into the rotations here really quick. So, again, we'll take a look at the first one of the raids, the sustained one, the one that I play. And again, just to kind of give you the rotation, because there really isn't a rotation for Wrathful Warrior. If you look at your Spectrum Energy, it's about getting Wrath, and you see as you build it up, it's going to go up here and then keep going, and eventually it's going to give you more damage. So as we go down through the moves, again, what I normally do when I enter combat is I will either charge at them. If I'm in PvE, I will charge at them, break their armor right away, pop my Infinite Rage, hit them twice with Fury Blades, and then do a combination of Final Strike, cross slash, Final Strike, cross slash, until Fury Blades is up. If it's, again, the rule of thumb here is if it's one person, even two, there's no reason for you to use Blade Cyclone. Because unlike all the others, it locks you into the AoE animation. There is no way to cancel that. It does not do enough damage for it to be useful in a one-on-one scenario. So do not use this unless there is at least 3+ adds or enemies that you're fighting. So once again, and I'll go very slowly so you kind of see it. Let's pretend this is PvE and this is a boss right here. So what I'll do, and I'll go very slowly again just to kind of see it, I will charge, break armor, buff, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. This is back, and then it's just a priority system after that. What you're trying to do is get as many of those in as possible. As you see, oh, let me cancel that. The damage is pretty, pretty good. It gets up there pretty fast. It's got one of the biggest bursts. You'll actually notice in one of the raid videos that I will actually share, or maybe I might have seen it earlier. I jumped in there as the tank was holding him as when we started. I hit him so hard that the tank lost all the threat and he switched on me and just one-shotted me and then went back to the tank. That's how much burst you have. So whoever's tanking for you, you need to let them know to make sure they taunt. Just to keep that for the first 6 seconds, to keep that taunt on them. Anyway, let's go at it one more time. I'll go a little bit faster so you kind of see it. So as I'm jumping, I'm going to be clicking armor penetration and then the buff right after. So it's just super quick. And now what I'll normally do if it's a boss, I will run through them, turn around really quick and slash them with it. So here we go. So here we go. As you see, the damage is pretty gnarly. So that is how you play the sustained one. Again, same thing with the PvP one as well, the burst one. Same concept. What you want to do is you want to build your rats up to get as many fury blades as you can. What I'll normally do is just like a little tip. If for some reason you see it right here as your cooldowns are coming, that your armor penetration is about to come back, because this is kind of like your buffer, and you have Fury Blades not on cooldown just yet, wait a beep. Wait a couple of seconds until Fury Blade is back, and then armor break them. Just because when you do this combo, your Fury Blades just do a ton more damage. So one more time, we're going to do that rotation just to kind of, so you have it. And this time I won't say anything, I'll just go ahead and do the full rotation, and you can watch I'm below these skills. So here we go. Alright, so that is that one. Now I wanted to show you guys the burst one for PvP. Now for PvP I do this a little bit differently. And this is kind of like a trick that you will learn. Again, it shouldn't really matter if it's arena or if it's the war zones or the battlegrounds. I play SWTOR, and they call their battlegrounds war zones anyway. Moving on, right? As I'm fighting these people, I try my best, and you gotta be patient with it. But the biggest advice I can give you is do not charge in. Walk up to them and do your rotation then, because 99% of people that you fight, especially healers or ranged, as soon as you hit them, they will bleep away or they will stun you and walk away, right? So what you do is, if you already jumped in, then your gap closer is done. Yes, we have 2 gap closers. However, it's always better to have it on hand than not have it. So that's why I'll actually just run up. So again, this is PvP and this is burst, and keep an eye on the burst damage here. So same concept, I'll just run up. Yeah, that burst is insane on this one. Let's give that try one more try. And again, this time I will actually click to make it a little easier for you. We'll wait till all these go away, because I think the buffs are going to just give me a little bit more damage here. There we go. Again, so I'm going to walk up to them, armor pen, walk through them, hit my infinite rage as I'm walking, and turn around and hit fury blades twice in their face. So 1, 1, at 6,000 on that one. Insane burst damage. Like when you hit somebody that hard, their first instinct is going to be to stop what they're doing and run, because nobody really gets hit that hard that fast. This is the one, again, this is the one that I use in PvP, and you saw it spike to 6k on that one. It's just crazy. So once again, these are the ones that I have. This one that I play with. I want to show you guys one more build. I've been trying it for the last couple of days, and it's definitely interesting. Feel free to test it with me and let me know. So far, on those 10 dummies, and again, I did 2-minute timers on them, and I took it to PvP. In PvP, we actually went on a crazy run, but that was more because we outplayed them. However, on the actual numbers, this build performed a little lower than the others. There was a lot more to do, which is awesome, makes it flow better, makes it a little bit more fun. However, the burst wasn't as good as the other two, and sustained over a longer fight, it was by far the lowest out of all of them. Now, on the dummy, for some reason, when I tested, it performs pretty well, but in the actual fight, it doesn't, and maybe something with my gear. So I'll be, playing with the gear a little bit and testing this one out. But let me show you this one, and this one revolves around getting the Furious Stab. So as you kind of see, all the moves that I selected here, as we kind of go down to it. I did take this one because, again, this is more of a PvE thing. It definitely helps, everybody else, including your teammates here. Again, more for PvE. But if you do not want to do this, you can just take this off, and I would just put it up here somewhere. Anyway, let me show you this one. And again, the first thing you'll notice is the Furious Stab has 2 charges. So 2, 2, 2, 1, which is really interesting, right? So keep an eye on the numbers. Very interesting rotation, really interesting build. Let me just say that one more time. Still tests to be done, but this is the one that I'll, after I'm done testing, I will, put my results on there for you. So here we go. I am going to, same thing, jump in, break armor, and then pop, 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 pop. It's definitely keeping the sustained a little bit better the way that I play, because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to keep the wrath up as much as possible with it. But there we go. So this one's coming back, so I'm going to hold off for a second, and then we're going to go ahead and pop it. Just get those extra 2 slashes in there. Alright, so as I said, out of all the ones that I had, out of 3 of them, this one performed the lowest in terms of sustained damage and burst. But it's definitely very interesting. I think it's something with the stats that I can tweak around a little bit. But the way it normally works is, well, the main principle behind it is, if you look at this one right here. Is it this one? I think it's this one. Yeah. So making the stab makes your next Fury Blade deal 15% more damage. So the rotation changes just a little bit. So what I'll do is I will jump in, break their armor, buff up, hit Furious Stab, then 2 Fury Blades. Or you can even do Furious Stab, Fury Blade, Furious Stab, Fury Blade, just to kind of get that extra damage. Both work really well, and I think there's something to it. Again, something to look forward to, as I will be doing this one next. So let's do it just one more time as like a test, and we'll end it here. So we'll jump, break armor, then 1, 2, 1. Yeah, that damage is definitely sustained more than I thought it would be. Let me just say that. So yeah, look at that. Definitely interesting. Definitely interesting. Definitely interesting. Still not as good as the others, I don't think. But again, I think that's something to do with my gear. So I will test it and let you guys know if I find a way around it. Until then, you have a wonderful week and weekend, and happy 4th of July to everybody, and I will see you in the next one.